a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here.
Good evening, my name is Richard, I'm an alcoholic. Hi, it's great to be here.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, how are you? That's my wife, Stephanie. And I don't have anyone leading the meeting, so it's just the both of us. And I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I am an alcoholic. I do have other problems. Let's see, I tried cocaine and after about 28 years decided it really wasn't for me. And I have other problems, but in AA we do share about our problem with alcohol. You know, if you're an addict, narcotics, you can replace the word, you can replace it, and it'll still work. But I don't know if many have been to AA or been a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. It does work. I don't want to say it works if you work it. You know, I heard it too. I'm coming up on 14 years without a drink or drug. I still smoke cigarettes, which, yeah. So she's an alcoholic, and I suggest that there be no rehab romance. It doesn't work. I know we all get involved in that once in a while. I'll tell you stories, but she's here. And I did go to a rehab on all fours, and I asked for help. You guys look pretty good. I wasn't that good, so don't try to pull rank on me. I'm very active in AA. I love it. I really do. It's given me a new way of life. Don't worry. You know, a lot of people go like it's going to turn me into some zombie, you know, who's a Republican, speaks like this, and yes, no, it doesn't. The creative you will remain. I guarantee you. The effed up part of you will go away. It comes back once in a while, but that's why you have the program, so that others can support you and you can give it away to somebody else. I'm sure you've heard all of this too.
It's clear to see from up here, the world seems small.
Japanese, not a Jewish American princess. I'm a Jap. Okay, that's part of my story, because Stephanie talks about, I feel different then. I don't feel part of all of these kids that are having a good time. You know, I just don't feel part of it. And that was, growing up as a Jap, like this gentleman knows different then. It wasn't fun. I mean, people would make fun of me, Chinese cherry, gook, yeah. I heard it all, and the kids would come into my house and they go, "What's that smell?" Oh, they're eating bait, fish bait. And I'm like, these are the same guys that are asking me about sashimi. And I said, yeah, you see that green stuff? Just take that and put that in your mouth. So yeah, it's a part of the thing about being different. I don't feel like I'm connected. And, growing up Japanese, that doesn't help. I grew up in West Babylon. Everyone was Italian and Catholic. I'm a Shinto Jap. It's not working right. I start to be very reclusive. God blessed me with a very high IQ, which I no longer have. I drank and drugged that all away. And, I did schoolwork all the time. And that was my pride and joy, just staying up there. I was the kid who he wanted to copy from me. I'm like, no way. Every time I go into rehab, sometimes they go, "Are you a doctor?" I said, "No," because I have a jacket on, Japanese. That's racial, what do you call it? Racial, yeah. Oh, you a doctor. So you see, we lived delusional. Like Stephanie, the delusion I lived was, and when I had that first drink, a lot of people go like, "Oh, I felt it from the head to my toes." I didn't feel that. I felt like I'm part of somebody. These guys, Anthony Ronaldo, Tony Carazano, Vinny Babalucci, they're like, "Hey, come over here." I'm like, I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. And they introduced me to a beer and cigarettes. And I felt part of them. and I wanted to be like them. And all of a sudden, that clean-cut little boy whose mother used to put him in a blue blazer and a bow tie. Yeah, that was fun. Was all of a sudden my hair started to grow long. I took that stuff off, and I wanted to be with them. And in 8th grade, I'm going to parties with them, and they're drinking, and girls like this, the little cheerleaders, the guys smashing a beer can on his forehead, and they're like, "Ooh, what a man!" And I'm going, "Oh, there's got to be more to it than this," because I'm chasing that buzz. It's people say like, "Oh, alcohol didn't work for me." I said, "Shit, it worked for me." I felt good. I felt like I should be. I'm strutting instead of that little reclusive Jap kid, and I want more, and I need it all the time because I watched these guys that brought me in. And they only drink on the weekends. They only drug on the weekends, And I'm like, wait a minute. I want to do this every day, And I have people buying me like Tango. You know what Tango is? Yeah, if you don't know, it's the worst vodka in the world mixed with Tang, the breakfast of astronauts. And it's gross. I can still burp it up. And I would go to school and I would slug half of it down and go to school like, yeah, it's good, this is good. And so it worked every day for me. I needed it. Why wouldn't I want it if it worked so well? And those guys went away. I was at the party with them, and I got introduced. Some guys said, "Come over here." And they had everything I wanted. They had hard liquor, they had drugs. What more do I want, right? And I started my journey into really delusion. And I'm chasing this thing all the time. We say sometimes, you're always chasing that first buzz because it was perfect. It was nice. It was, the yin and the yang was there. Now I'm doing enormous amounts of blow and drink, like to find that spot again, that spot where I'm just walking right. Everything feels good, and I just couldn't find it. And my body just said, we need more. I thought I was a bad person, and I learned later on, I take that drink in, I take that drug in, and my body's like, come on. And, I'm delusional. I make every excuse possible to continue to do it. Around high school, Yoko Ono and John Lennon become very popular. All of a sudden, it's very cool to be Japanese. And all of these girls want a piece of the Jap. I'm in. I am in. Oh, it's fantastic. Now, who's got it better than me? Richard, you got a problem. I said, oh, really? I'm feeling pretty good. And that's the way I went. We all share in Alcoholics Anonymous about our experience, how we grew up. All of that is not why I'm an alcoholic. A lot of people have their own theories about drug addiction. I feel I go the genetic way, where I have something in me that other people go to a point and they're okay. You ever sitting at that kitchen table at 3 o'clock in the morning and someone says, I've had enough. Really? And all of a sudden it comes all over here. I've had enough. And alcohol, I watch people drink and I'm going, would you drink the effing thing? The sipping made me crazy. And you know what I mean? Like, come on. I became a real barroom person, not the clubs. I liked the place that had a nice aroma of urine. This was good. Women that looked like they were hit with a truck. But all of my friends, we go to a bar and we go like, yeah, tonight I'm going to get that. And they, you know what? 10 minutes later, what? Because we're just thinking on one thing. And, I started to go downhill. Steffi talked about the weight thing. When I came into rehab, I weighed over 350 pounds. I had hair down to my waist, and I had these big softball knots of hair because I never brushed my hair. Now, one was the size of a softball, so I was always like walking like this. I couldn't lay on my side. And no exaggerations. They were like, Richard, and like little tsetse flies would come out because I'm not bathing. That's why I say you guys look good. I wasn't bathing. I wasn't doing anything. My teeth are falling out of my mouth. I can't eat anything because it just hurts. And, these are all implants now. I had diabetes, the skin was coming off, it get that nice glow where it's stretched, and you can take your finger and rub it off. And, the doctor said, Richard, that slime on your feet, you're going to take your feet off. And I'm like, whatever. As long as I can walk into a bar or see my drug dealer, I'm okay. I was married, I had 3 children, they're still there. But they lived a horrible life. I moved to I didn't go to the Hamptons. I mean, a big night at our house was a pizza on Friday. And I was starting to make money. I started a business, and I had 5 employees, 10 employees, 20, 50. I'm like, whoa, this is, what? It wasn't that great. I wasn't proud of it. It was it was providing me a lot of money. Money is, for me, whoa, boy, I can do anything. And I would hear people say, Richard, you got a problem. I said, oh, really? How much do you make? How much do you make? Really? I make that in about a minute. And then I'll be like, every person that I made fun of me in school, I'd see them in a bar, I said, how's it going still living with mom? I got very nasty. But my alcoholism was driving me. Everything good about life, I just threw away. The children at home, I threw money at them. Okay, that was it. My youngest daughter was born with a learning disability, Asperger's. And she, in the beginning, she was supposed to go to the doctor, mental hospital right away. And my wife at that time said, not on my watch. And she did everything she could for her, the conventional to the unconventional, aromatherapy, acupuncture, you name it, they did it. And the saddest thing is, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I had a daughter that had a problem, because it was taking away my time. That when we were at some sort of counseling and everything, I was like, when the fuck's this going to be over so I can get to the nightcap? That's his uncle's bar. Yeah, you know what you go to the nightcap for. One thing and one thing only. There's no socializing. No, you were an alcoholic and drug addict, period. And the thing is that, when the big day came when she's going to graduate high school and go to college, and I'm laying on that couch, the couch, it's all ripped up, and she's looking down at me because and I said, honey, when is the graduation? She goes, Dad, you missed it. You see, I didn't care about anything but my addiction. It was in AA, in the big book we called it King Alcohol. It was in charge of me. It would take me by the nose and pull me where it wanted to go. I'm the guy that comes to the liquor store buying $6.99 vodkas. Okay, the safety conscious, you drop them, they roll around. Okay, and I'm going there for the second time in the day, and the clerk is going, really? Really? Well, I'm having a party tonight. Really? And I'm hitting a bottom, okay? My wife leaves me. It takes me about 4 weeks to realize she's gone. I thought the woman just learned how to treat me and leave me alone. The kids are away. And then I heard in AA, when the walls start closing in on you. And I just was able to have one room, and they're getting smaller. They are really getting smaller. And I heard in AA too. The worst guy, the other alcoholics that hung out at that bar, I come in they go, Richard, calm down. Richard, go home. Johnny Mac was my bartender. And he'd say, Richard, don't bother the customers. Because I was one with a mouth across the room. Hey, you fucking asshole. But I always had 2 big guys sitting next to me, okay? And they were like, go through them first. And I wasn't even allowed in there. It was like, no, Rich, go home. I would fall asleep on the bar. Johnny Mac would take my money and put it in the back. And, I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning at the bar. It wasn't good. And I wouldn't go home. I had this family, and they never saw me. I had daughters who would hear things like, hey, we saw your dad yesterday. Really, where? They was all crawling down Deer Park Avenue on all fours. You know, I was the guy in the bar who came in and, whoops, I shit in my pants. Excuse me. You know, that was how bad I'm getting. And, you know, I can't even leave the house eventually. I can't go to work. You know, I owned the business, and they were like, go home, go home. And I got stuck in that room. I just couldn't stop. And, you know, later on, I realized, you know, a lot of people go, I was trying to commit suicide. You know, I don't have, but I was drinking so much. It was like I was trying to kill myself by just going away. I wanted to just go away. And people would come in and they'd look at me like, ooh, Richard. You know, most people would come in and they'll go like, my father-in-law came in and then he went back and he said he had a cold. Because no one wanted to face it, you know. I wasn't allowed any place, but I went. You know, there was a big party for my father-in-law. I wasn't supposed to go, and I showed up. I showed up loud and proud. You know the ones where they're dragging you out and embarrassing the whole family. And I you know, there's no other way to say it, but I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. And when I come to in the morning, my first thought was, oh, no, not again. Because I didn't want to wake up. I was like, whoa. And it went to the same thing. You know, when I was semi-okay, I was a big morning drinker. I was a shaker. And, you know, I'd have that first drink and the second drink. At that time I was drinking Tanqueray. Those nice green bottles were gone. And I'm shaking. You know, the third one is okay, I'm not shaking. The fourth one is okay. You know, I put on a sock. That's cause for a celebration. Let's have another drink. You know, by the time I'm dressed, it's 12:30 and I'm laying on the couch. And that's the way it was. And, you know, I hit a bottom, and that bottom was I got on all fours. I said, I can't do this anymore. I mean, I knew that I was in another world. I couldn't relate. You know, I mean, in the house, there were dust balls jumping up on the couch with me, and they're starting to talk to me. And, you know, unlike other drugs of choice, with alcohol, the delusions and illusions on that happy ones, you know, that dust ball wasn't saying, hi, Rich, good morning. It was saying, you know, Rich, you know what you should do to yourself today? You know what you should really do? And I hit a bond, I hit that floor, and I just asked for help. I went to a rehab just like this, and I made a decision, right? You know, I'm laying in a room looking at the other guy, and I'm going like, how the fuck did I get here? That's the stupidest question we all ask ourselves. How did I get here? May I tell the long story or the short story? And, you know, God, please give me a time machine. I'll go back and I'll do it differently. And I knew that wasn't true because I'm an alcoholic at heart. I mean, I'm an alcoholic physiologically, a drug addict physiologically. I can't party like other people because it just takes over. And when I got into rehab, AA would come in, and I'm like, I don't know. You know, like, I sort of was surrendering right there. So I guess I got to be an AA, because I knew how bad I was. You know, AA was a little creepy to me at times. I'll tell you, I started to see guys in AA. The women weren't too bad either. Yeah, you got to watch out for AA women. Just be careful when you first go in the rooms, because they're predators.
You're all very
No. You meet a girl when you first go there. You go, hi. Then one day, next week, you go, who the fuck do you think you are touching me? Whoa, bad day, isn't it? But the thing is that I did see something different about them. I did see that they were pretty confident. You know, we talk about a gleam in the eyes, but they were confident. I realized when I looked at them, okay, that's what I was missing. I mean, I had a lot of bravado, I had a lot of shit stick, I had a lot of everything going on, but I was always afraid. I was always fearful. I was always thinking you were thinking bad things about me. I was always feeling less than you. And you know what? I had a cure for it, and it was that drink and drug. And that drink and drug took over for everything. It just was commando in chief. And I knew that. But in AA, I saw really something different. And I was fearful of it too, because I was like, man, they're going to take this exciting clubbing bar room guy who shits in his pants and pees on the floor, and they're going to make him like a zombie. That's what I thought. I'm going to play pinochle or something. I don't know how to play pinochle. You know, maybe I'll go bowling. I'm like, whoa, this is bad. You know, I didn't like the whole thought of it. You know, I'm going to wear funny clothes. And, you know why I put a jacket on? Because AA was supposed to show that it works. And if I came up here in, you know, like a ripped shirt and everything that says eat me, you know, you're like, hey, I don't know. You know, so we try to show that it works. We try to show that we're different than we used to be. And we try to show that one of the things I needed to do when I came in AA is to listen. I have a hard time listening. I had to listen, like Stephanie, or maybe not. I got a very strict sponsor. I needed real strictness with me, not like, you know, yeah, okay, whatever. It was like, Richard, you'll call me at 7:30 in the morning. And I mean 7:30, not 8:30, 9:30. You'll be at the meeting. You'll do this, you'll do that. I mean, I needed that. You know, when I got out of rehab, I thought everything was, you know, the bar was still there. The bar was still there. I thought it would mystically go away because I'm trying to get sober. Okay? The people I know, we stopped drinking, Rich, because we know you're trying to get sober. My dealer, Rich, I don't want to bother you. You're trying to get sober. They're all there. They're all there just waiting. And you know what? I had to go to a meeting every day. I had to listen to my sponsor. And you know, don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's easy. Or people say, it's the easiest walk the way. Bullshit. It's hard. It really is hard, and you got to really grasp it. And it's sort of like football. It's like a huddle. You know, we all get together, break, and you play one more game one day. You come back, another play. You come, and that's sort of the way it worked for me. I needed that, and I needed guys who were in AA also to talk with me, because some of us were having bad days. And in the morning we talked to one another. You know, he sounds so stupid, and I was like, that's the same thing I was thinking. It's so stupid. So all I can say to you is not just come to AA, but become part of it. Listen to what you're told. Don't become a genius in addictionology in 1 month. I understand now the addiction problems, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this guy's been here 2 weeks, you know? Or the other one, in rehab, you know the guys, right? I was with them. Some of them are sober now. I'll show you what to do. I've been here 4 times. Really? Really? Not quite the role model I need right now. So, anyway, come to AA or NA or whatever you choose, but listen to what they say.
The world seems small. We can sit together